Hello and welcome to our daily news roundup on Atlantic TV. I am Nkechi Tejiri. Here are our top stories. Tinubu back in Abuja after 10-day Lagos Plateau tour. Oshomole, South now APC. Jonathan will lose 2027 if he contests. Nigeria's oil boom, billion-dollar divestments, deep offshore investments surge. Trump announces UFC fight at White House for 80th birthday. Warri Wolves and Abia Warriors shine as Enyimba Rivers ends goalless. Now to the news in full. President Bola Tinubu returned to Abuja on Monday after a 10-day working visit that took him across Lagos, Imo, and Plateau states. The visit, confirmed in a statement by presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga, combined official engagements, investor meetings, and national celebrations. Tinubu arrived in Lagos on September 26th following the coronation of the Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Ladoja. During his stay, he met with key investors including Bayo Ogunlesi of Global Infrastructure Partners and Hakeem Bello Osagie of Metis Capital Partners. The president also hosted Arsenio Dominguez, Secretary General of the International Maritime Organization, alongside Marine and Blue Economy Minister Adegboyega Oyetola and other sector leaders, reaffirming Nigeria's commitment to positioning its maritime industry as a renewable energy alternative. Ahead of Nigeria's 65th Independence Day, Tinubu visited Imo State to commission projects completed by Governor Hope Uzodinma, while also unveiling a book documenting a decade of APC governance. On Independence Day, he addressed the nation from Dordan Barracks in Lagos and inaugurated the renovated National Theatre, now the Wole Soyinka Center for Culture and the Creative Arts. Over the weekend, the president traveled to Jos Plateau for the burial of Mama Lydia Yilwatda, mother of APC chairman Professor Nentawe Yilwatda, paying tribute and emphasizing his administration's commitment to religious fairness and national unity. The tour showcased a blend of political, cultural, and economic engagements, reflecting Tinubu's focus on national unity, investor confidence, and the advancement of key sectors ahead of Nigeria's ongoing development agenda. Tension is rising across Nigeria's universities as the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, signals readiness for another nationwide strike. The development comes barely a week before the expiration of its 14-day ultimatum to the federal government, citing continued government indifference to long-standing demands. In a bulletin titled Strike Bulletin Number 1, dated October 5th, 2025, and signed by ASU President Professor Christopher Piwona, the union expressed frustration at the government's continued lethargy in responding to issues affecting university lecturers and public tertiary institutions. Professor Piwona lamented that despite resolutions from the National Executive Council NEC meeting at the University of Abuja on the 28th of September, being communicated to the Minister of Labor and Education as well as the Nigerian Labour Congress, there is no meaningful development deserving of any consideration. He stressed that negotiations dragging on for over 8 years have yielded little progress, leaving the union with no option but to consider industrial action. Our goal remains to compel the government to sign and implement the renegotiated agreement and fulfill other pending commitments, Piwona said. ASU has begun mobilizing members in all public universities nationwide, urging lecturers to participate fully in Congress meetings and follow directives only from recognized union leaders, branch chairpersons, and zonal coordinators. If declared, the strike could once again halt academic activities across Nigeria's public universities, deepening the recurring crisis in the nation's education sector and raising concerns about the impact on students' learning and the country's academic calendar. Senator Adams Oshimole has asserted that former President Goodluck Jonathan stands no chance if he contests the 2027 presidential election. Speaking on a TV program, Oshimole claimed the South-South region is now firmly under APC influence, weakening Jonathan's traditional political base. Oshimole said Jonathan's return to politics would tarnish his legacy, advising him to remain a respected statesman instead of seeking another term. He said, "We will defeat him flatly if he comes out, because now the South-South is no longer PDP." The former Edo State governor praised Jonathan's 2015 concession, calling it a globally admired gesture, and highlighted the ex-president's famous quote about his blood not being worthy of any Nigeria as part of his enduring legacy. Oshimole warned that Jonathan would face a political risk and be reduced to a minnow by President Bola Tinubu at the polls, urging the former president to stay retired. Similarly, PDP 2023 governorship candidate Abdulaziz Adediran Jandor advised Jonathan against hidden calls to contest, suggesting those pushing him to run were misleading him. The debate underscores a growing narrative that the APC has consolidated its hold in the South-South, potentially shaping the 2027 political landscape. Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara held a high-level reconciliation meeting with the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, and key political stakeholders on Saturday in Port Harcourt. The closed-door session, convened by Chief Ferdinand Alabraba, chairman of the Rivers Elders and Leaders Council, aimed to foster cooperation between both camps. While Wike's loyalists dominated the gathering, notable allies of Governor Fubara were largely absent, raising questions about the balance of influence. Attendees include Speaker Martin Amewule, Deputy Speaker Dumle Maul, House Leader Major Jack, Senate Caucus Leader Baring Piggy, former and current lawmakers, elder statesmen, and prominent legal and political figures, including Magnus Abe, George Sekibo, Onueze Okocha, SAN, and former Attorneys General Zacchaeus Adango, SAN, Frank Owo, Ken Chikere, and Wogu Bombs. The discussion reportedly focused on reconciling Wike's loyalists with Fubara and ensuring political stability in the state. Since Fubara's return on September 18th after the end of the 6-month emergency rule, he has dissolved key state agencies, including the Rivers State Pensions Board and the Microfinance Agency. Sources note this is the second peace meeting where Wike's camp outnumbered Fubara's, highlighting potential tensions as the governor navigates his post-emergency administration. The absence of Fubara loyalists at previous public events, including his arrival at the airport and the Independence Thanksgiving service, underscores the cautious and delicate nature of the ongoing reconciliation efforts. You're watching our Daily News Roundup. We'll go for a short break. More news stories on the business front when we return.
When the lights go out, who do you call? Ticado! Ticado Energy Solutions Limited, your plug for electrical power, surveillance system, and entertainment. From expert electrical installation to efficient eco-friendly solar inverter systems, no matter the size, Ticado delivers smart energy solutions designed for today and tomorrow. We also help you secure your space with our cutting-edge security and surveillance system. Enjoy crystal clear entertainment with our professional DSTV and cable TV installation. Visit Ticado today at Block F4, Suite 41 and 42, HFP East Line Plaza, Abraham Adesanya, Aja, Lagos. Or call 0906 902 5025 or 0815 176 6817. Explore our services at ticado.com.ng. Ticado Energy Solutions Limited. Power, protection, peace.
Welcome back. Now on the business front, Nigeria's upstream oil and gas sector is experiencing a major resurgence, with the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission (NUPRC) reporting a ninefold jump in active rigs from 8 in 2021 to 69 as of October 2nd, 2025, highlighting renewed investor confidence and industry stability. In a statement marking its fourth anniversary, the NUPRC revealed landmark achievements, including a dramatic 90% reduction in crude oil theft, falling from 102,900 barrels per day in 2021 to 9,600 barrels per day in September 2025. The success is credited to enhanced security measures, private contractors like Tantita, and the implementation of the Upstream Measurement Regulation and Advanced Cargo Declaration Regulation. The Commission also spearheaded reforms to drive accountability and investment, including drill or drop policy, regulatory framework, transparent bid rounds, divestment approvals. The Commission is advancing the Nigerian gas flare commercialization program, aiming to end routine gas flaring and attract $2.5 billion in fresh investment. Safety enforcement continues with the recent revocation of the Orishemeyin rig license, following a drilling incident at the UDIBE-2 wellbore. NUPRC officials say these steps reflect President Bola Tinubu's vision to create a robust, transparent, and environmentally responsible petroleum sector, positioning Nigeria as a hub for deep offshore investment and energy diversification. With investor interest surging and reforms gaining traction, Nigeria's oil industry is poised for further expansion, combining economic growth, environmental responsibility, and community development in a landmark turnaround. Analysts at Cowrie Asset Management have issued a bullish buy call on 5 Nigerian exchange (NGX) stocks, projecting substantial short-term gains of up to 60% for investors. In a weekend market report, Cowrie highlighted Access Core, Aradel Holdings, NAHCO, Nigerian Brewers, and MTN Nigeria as top picks for the week starting as of October 6th. Strong earnings forecast, attractive valuations, and solid fundamentals underpin the recommendations. Access Core leads the pack, trading at 26.5 naira with a target price of 42.2 naira, representing a 60% potential upside. Analysts cited its low price to earnings PE ratio of 5.43x and forecast earnings per share of 7.81 naira, up from the current EPS of 4.88 naira, as indicators of robust growth. Cowrie set a stop loss at 22.5 naira and a take profit level at 30.5 naira to manage short-term risks. The firm emphasized that October's market favors fundamentally strong stocks and encouraged investors to strategically employ stop loss and take profit measures. The forthcoming third quarter earnings season is expected to further fuel momentum in the recommended stocks. With solid earnings forecast and undervalued market positions, these NGX stocks are positioned to deliver significant short-term returns, presenting lucrative opportunities for both retail and institutional investors. Away from business now to the foreign scene, President Donald Trump revealed that an Ultimate Fighting Championship (UFC) bout will take place on the grounds of the White House on the 14th of June next year, coinciding with what will be his 80th birthday. The announcement came during a speech at the U.S. Navy personnel at the Norfolk Naval Base. Trump said in his words, "On June 14 next year, we are going to have a big UFC fight at the White House, right at the White House, on the grounds of the White House." The date was previously associated with the 4th of July, when UFC chief Dana White had announced the fight as part of America's 250th anniversary celebrations. White, in a press conference posted on UFC's YouTube channel, promised a historic greatest fight card ever assembled in the history of definitely this company. The sport, known for its mix of martial arts disciplines, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, wrestling, and boxing, will be staged in the UFC's signature octagon, an 8-sided ring enclosed by a chain-link fence. Trump, a longtime UFC supporter, has often attended high-profile bouts and been celebrated by fans, particularly among young male demographics. Bringing the combat sport to the center of U.S. political power marks a historic first, though critics continue to raise concerns about its high injury risk and potential brain damage to fighters. The event will be closely watched for both its political spectacle and sporting drama as the UFC ventures into unprecedented territory by combining politics, pageantry, and brutal mixed martial arts. This announcement adds to Trump's flair for grand events following his last military parade on his 79th birthday and continuing his highly visible association with the UFC. Delegations from Israel, Hamas, and the United States are set to meet in Egypt on Monday to negotiate a ceasefire as President Donald Trump urged negotiators to move fast to end nearly 2 years of conflict in Gaza. Hamas-led negotiator Khalil al-Hayya is scheduled to meet mediators from Egypt and Qatar in Sharm el-Sheikh to set a date for a temporary truce and lay the groundwork for a phased peace plan. The first phase includes the release of 47 hostages from Gaza in exchange for hundreds of Palestinians held in Israeli jails. Trump, posting on Truth Social, called the discussions positive and pressed for swift action, saying, "I am told that the first phase should be completed this week, and I am asking everyone to move fast." Foreign ministers from key nations called the talks a real opportunity for a sustainable ceasefire, while Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed hope for hostages release within days. Ahead of the negotiations, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio urged Israel to halt strikes on Gaza, stating, "You can't release hostages in the middle of strikes, so the strikes will have to stop." The talks commence on the eve of the second anniversary of the October 7, 2023 Hamas attack that ignited the conflict, with Israel sending its delegates to Cairo on Monday to begin discussions. Both sides have signaled willingness to engage, marking a potential turning point in the long-running Gaza war and raising hopes for an immediate cessation of hostilities. Away from the foreign scene now to sports news. Match day 7 of the 2025-2026 Nigeria Premier Football League (NPFL) delivered high drama across the country. Warri Wolves and Abia Warriors secure vital away wins, while the marquee clash between Enyimba and Rivers United ended in a stalemate. At Ibadan's Lekan Salami Stadium, Shooting Stars extended their impressive home form with a last-gasp 1-0 win over Plateau United, courtesy of Ismail Ayodele's stoppage-time strike. In Minna, Niger Tornadoes were held 1-1 by Kun Khalifat, with Ugochukwu Akuta rescuing a point for the visitors. The highly anticipated Aba clash between Enyimba and Rivers United ended 0-0, as both unbeaten sides cancelled each other out. Away victories highlighted the weekend, with Warri Wolves defeating Barao FC 1-0 in Bauchi thanks to Justus Ohanu's 29th minute goal, while Abia Warriors edged Kwara United 1-0 in Ilorin via Emeka Obioma's penalty in the 48th minute. Elsewhere, Rangers' game against Katsina United was abandoned in the 70th minute due to heavy rain. In Yenagwa, Bayelsa United and Ikorodu City shared points in a 1-1 draw after Tosin converted a late penalty rebound to cancel Emma James' opener. The NPFL continues to enthrall fans, with every match day shaping the battle for early season supremacy. The weekend's results underline the competitiveness of the league, with multiple teams jostling for top spots and a away win proving decisive in the early campaign. The Director General of the National Sports Commission, NSC, Honorable Bukola Olakpade, has praised Amaju Pinnick for his recent appointment to FIFA, describing it as a fitting recognition of his efforts in advancing global football development. Olakpade lauded Pinnick's dedication to football administration, noting that his new role reflects years of commitment to improving the sport both in Nigeria and internationally. According to the NSC boss, Pinnick's appointment is not only a personal achievement, but also a milestone for Nigerian football, signaling the country's growing influence in global football governance. The DG urged stakeholders to continue supporting local football initiatives, emphasizing that Pinnick's success should inspire further development and investment in the game nationwide. Pinnick's elevation in FIFA comes amid ongoing efforts to strengthen football infrastructure and talent development across Africa, with Olokpade affirming that this achievement will boost Nigeria's profile in the global football community. And with that, sports news will come to the end of our daily news roundup for today here on Atlantic TV. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms for more news stories and updates. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nkechi Tejere. Have a good day.